Hey, Ron here, and today I would like to talk about the Grenfell Tower fire. Grenfell Tower fire, yeah. Okay, so for those who don't know, a couple of years back, there was this tower, this apartment complex. Call it a, they call them flats in Great Britain. That caught fire. The whole thing burned down. 72 people were killed, 70 were injured, and like 220 other people lost everything that they owned. There are active criminal investigations into what the... No, let's go back a step. The reason that the fire happened is due to faulty cladding on the building. And it since came out, well, I say it has since came out. It has since come out that the people who installed the cladding on the building knew that it was faulty and knew that the people were at risk. Not the least reasons of which the people in the building knew that the faulty cladding was going to cause a fire at some point. They'd been protesting against it for years. And there are other sociological issues too. Like, there are a small contingent of people saying, oh, they're all filthy immigrants. The Grenfell Tower housed mostly immigrants, and there are people saying that because it housed mostly immigrants, those people got what they deserved, in some capacity. I guess being an immigrant means that you're worthy of death in Great Britain. You have my apologies for Boris Johnson, by the way. And there are other more reasonable people saying that there should be criminal charges brought against the owners of Grenfell Tower. And indeed, there is a criminal investigation ongoing, but what I've read says that there won't be any charges brought against the owners of Grenfell Tower until 2020. None of that is exactly what I want to talk about, because I want to talk about a more fascinating and horrifying group of people that have emerged in the wake of Grenfell Tower. And these are people that say that the Grenfell Tower fire never happened. They do this in different capacities. They say that either the numbers of people who were killed or injured are off, or that no one was killed or injured at all. Some people say that there was no fire at Grenfell Tower, that it was destroyed in some other capacity. Some people go so far as to say that Grenfell Tower never existed at all. I don't have to explain why this is horrifying. They're denying the deaths of dozens of people, and they're denying that... But they aren't denying that there was any wrongdoing. And that's a really wacky thing to me. Like, if you're going to say something like, there was no Grenfell Tower fire, then I would think that your priority would be to absolve the people responsible from guilt. But no! That's not what... It's not funny. It's not funny. That's a lie. There is no one claiming that the Grenfell Tower fire didn't happen, because the Grenfell Tower fire was a blazing fire that happened in the middle of London. There were tens of thousands of witnesses. That's not exactly what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about, what I really want to talk about, is the Holocaust. And people who deny that the Holocaust happened. I touched on this before, but there are ongoing criminal proceedings relating to the Grenfell Tower fire. And if you were to, for instance, say that the Grenfell Tower fire never happened, you would be instructed by authorities to not say that, because you would be interfering in a criminal investigation. And there are still ongoing criminal investigations related to the Holocaust. back in September, a guy named Bruno Day, I think it is, was brought to court for his role in the Holocaust. He was a member of the SS, and he was a guard at one of the concentration camps. Plenty of people understand that there is a dearth of physical evidence supporting the historical account of the Holocaust, right? I mean, I've even said before that we have more physical evidence supporting the existence of the Holocaust, supporting the historical account of the Holocaust, than we have evidence that the Earth revolves around the sun, which is a bit of trickery. Maybe I'll talk about that another day. But what I think goes unsaid, and I think what not enough people talk about, is that there is a legal precedent supporting the historical account of the Holocaust. And that even Holocaust deniers do not argue that legal precedent. No one who denies the Holocaust is saying that we need to get all of these former members of the SS, all these former Nazi war criminals, out of jail because they've been improperly tried. And you would think if they were serious about what they were saying, then that's what they would be doing. But they're not serious. Denying the Holocaust isn't about a legal precedent. It isn't about proving that something went one way. It's about anti-Semitism. And yeah, I know. Like, Ron, you've been rambling on for 5 minutes, and your point is that denying the Holocaust is anti-Semitic? Yes, and that there are other ways of making that point. You don't need to rely just on people who... You don't need to just rely on the fact that the majority of the victims were Jewish, and that they seem to be supporting the Nazi account of things. There are other ways you can argue certain points. And I feel like, especially on the left, there are these ideas that have become entrenched, that people just repeat verbatim. And it bothers me. I've said before, and I maintain, that if we want to convince people to come to the left, that we need to make radically different arguments for the things that we support. I don't know yet what those arguments would be, although it is something that I'm knocking around in my head. But I do know that it's possible. A very gentle reminder, I do still have a Ko-Fi account if you found this information or this video to be valuable in any way. Do not feel obligated to give me money. I make these videos as a labor of love. This is something that is very important to me personally. And these are going to keep coming out whether or not I have financial backing. But it is very desperate times in Ronsville, and any money that you could send my way would be very much appreciated. I also have a Curious Cat account if you want to send me anonymous questions, which I assume I'm going to get a whole host of them from Holocaust deniers. So that'll be fun. Maybe just go read that. I also have a Twitter account linked in the description if you want to interact with me on Twitter. I'm also going to provide in the underbar of the video the Wikipedia page for the Greenfield Tower fire, which is where I got most of the information I talked about, and an article from the Inquirer about Bruno Day and his trial, which is where I got the information about Bruno Day. So yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. I'm all said out. So, until we get there, take care of yourselves, alright?